Let's see here. Teddy Z85, Papa Solia, why are so many doctors saying red meat causes heart disease, even the grass-fed beef? They don't say that. Most people they don't specify because these studies are not done with grass-fed beef, and these studies are not usually done with healthy people with other healthy lifestyle habits. So what happens is you'll do these epidemiological studies, or which is really just a kind of a review of other data. You're extrapolating correlations based on data from other studies and from other surveys and stuff, which are often self-reported. And if you think about just classically how people gather data and how many flaws there are in science and how much bias and how much cherry picking and manipulation, a lot of what happens is you're taking surveys from people that are self-reporting what they're eating in X, Y, and Z. And if red meat has been demonized for like 60, 70 years. So if you are in a society that's demonizing red meat, even if it's incorrect, what you're doing is you're also making other bad choices because you're technically going against the grain. So people that are ignoring doctors' recommendations in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, even if it's incorrect, they're also probably ignoring other things. They're smoking, they're drinking alcohol, they're eating a lot of carbohydrates, they're eating low quality red meat, eating salted cured meats and deli meats and shit like that, all these nitrates and fillers and sugars and things like that. Also, what was I going to say? Vegetable oils, a lot of these, carbohydrates and things that they're eating with them are going to be vegetable oils, seed oils. People eat a lot of garbage foods, exercise, people have a lot of stress. So if you're grouping all that in, you just say, oh, well, a lot of these people happen to eat red meat that also have all these other bad habits. Most people that are eating red meat in the United States are eating farmed beef. They're not exercising. They're not doing yoga. They have tons of stress. They're smoking. They're drinking. They have poor habits. So of course, you can see a lot of people eat red meat and a lot of people are unhealthy. You have the majority of the population in this country specifically that are overweight and obese. So if the majority of the population is overweight or obese and the majority of the people eat red meat, you'd be like, oh, it's the red meat. It's the red meat. Look at all these people that are unhealthy and they eat red meat. Well, the majority of people in this country are unhealthy anyway. So what do the majority of people do, period? Oh, the majority of people watch TV. Well, TV is causing obesity. Yeah, it is. It is in a big way. TV and cell phones and stuff like that. So you can extrapolate a lot of correlations. Hey, look, most of these people happen to wear white shoes. Oh, white shoes causes heart disease, or white shoes is the devil. So most people are unhealthy. It's really hard to get data and extrapolate data when you don't have a good control group. Like how many people, let's say everyone if you had enough people in a study that were eating properly, living quality, living by the 7 pillars, eating grass-fed beef, eating organ meats, like how many people that are eating even grass-fed beef are eating organ meats, are doing any of the other 7 pillars? It's just, that doctors aren't really taught nutrition properly. They're not really taught nutrition at all. So how many people just eat a grass-fed steak and some organ meats, or they're going to have potatoes and French fries, and they're going to have a soda, and they're going to have dessert afterwards? Just because they had red meat doesn't mean that's what's causing the problems. Plus, is the meat cooked? Is it cooked in vegetable oil? Is it cooked in, margarine? Are they putting crap all over it and tons of table salt and not like Celtic sea salt? They're getting just tons of sodium. Yeah, there's so many factors. So many factors. Nutritional studies are extremely hard to do. Extremely hard to do. Because a lot of it is also, how are you gonna gauge what people do? A lot of people do mindless eating. Because think about it, what if those people in the studies aren't getting enough sleep? Guess what's going to increase heart disease even more than eating? Even if you're eating quality grass-fed beef, if you're not getting enough sleep, you're stressing out the body. You're going to increase your risk of heart disease by not getting enough sleep. So again, are these studies and is this data, are they measuring sleep? And how are they measuring sleep? Are people just saying, oh, I get 8 hours of sleep a night because they think they should be, or they think they are? What if they're really getting 7 or 6.5 and they say they're getting 8 on a survey? Okay, just let's say they are getting 8 hours of sleep. Is it quality sleep? Maybe they're eating late at night. Did the survey cover that the fact that they're eating late at night and the fact that the people aren't getting deep sleep, they're just getting kind of surface level, light sleep, and they're not really getting repair and recovery, so they're chronically stressed? So what are these studies actually extrapolating? How many people actually take care of their health and really try to get to the root of it? Very few. Most of them are here, right? Most of the population is overweight and obese, not to mention even the people that aren't overweight or obese. How many of those are actually really pursuing true health? And just some of them are just kind of skating by doing the bare minimum. They just happen to not be overweight or obese. Just because they're not overweight or obese, again, it doesn't mean they're metabolically healthy. You can be skinny and be very unhealthy. It's not just obesity. That's what the fat acceptance tries to leverage. Like, it's not just because you're fat doesn't mean you're unhealthy, because you can be thin and still be unhealthy. Yes, thank you. Thank you for that. You're literally proving my point with how sick this country is. You're just proving the point. But I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to justify the obesity, but prove my point.